China has 33 administrative units directly under the central government. These consist of 22 provinces, 5 autonomous regions, 4 municipalities Chongqing, Beijing, Shanghai, and Tianjin, and 2 special administrative regions, Hong Kong and Macau. The island province of Taiwan, which has been under separate administration since 1949, is discussed in the article Taiwan. Beijing, Peking, the capital of the People's Republic, is also the cultural, economic, and communications center of the country. Shanghai is the main industrial city. Hong Kong is the leading commercial center and port. Within China's boundaries exists a highly diverse and complex country. Its topography encompasses the highest and one of the lowest places on Earth, and its relief varies from nearly impenetrable mountainous terrain to vast coastal lowlands. Its climate ranges from extremely dry, desert-like conditions in the northwest to tropical monsoon in the southeast, and China has the greatest contrast in temperature between its northern and southern borders of any country in the world. Broadly speaking, the relief of China is high in the west and low in the east. Consequently, the direction of flow of the major rivers is generally eastward. The surface may be divided into 3 steppes, or levels. The first level is represented by the Plateau of Tibet, which is located in both the Tibet Autonomous Region and the province of Qinghai, in which, with an average elevation of well over 13,000 feet, 4,000 meters, above sea level, is the loftiest highland area in the world. The western part of this region, the Changtang, has an average height of 16,500 feet, 5,000 meters, and is known as the roof of the world. With more than 4,000 years of recorded history, China is one of the few existing countries that also flourished economically and culturally in the earliest stages of world civilization. Indeed, despite the political and social upheavals that frequently have ravaged the country, China is unique among nations in its longevity and resilience as a discrete politico-cultural unit. Much of China's cultural development has been accomplished with relatively little outside influence, the introduction of Buddhism from India constituting a major exception. Even when the country was penetrated by such barbarian peoples as the Manchu, these groups soon became largely absorbed into the fabric of Han Chinese culture. East of Yichang, in Hubei province, a series of plains of uneven width are found along the Yangtze River, Chongjiang. The plains are particularly wide in the delta area and in places where the Yangtze receives its major tributaries, including large areas of lowlands around Dongting, Poyang, Tai, and Hong's lakes, which are all hydrologically linked with the Yangtze. The region is an alluvial plain, the accumulation of sediment laid down by the rivers throughout long ages. There are a few isolated hills, but in general the land is level, lying mostly below 160 feet, 50 meters. Rivers, canals, and lakes form a dense network of waterways. The surface of the plain has been converted into a system of flat terraces, which descend in steps along the slopes of the valleys. China is one of great centers of world religious thought and practices. It is known especially as the birthplace of the religio-philosophical schools of Confucianism and Taoism, belief systems that formed the basis of Chinese society and governance for centuries. Buddhism came to China perhaps as early as the 3rd century BCE and was a recognized presence there by the 1st century CE. The country became an incubator for many of the great present-day Buddhist sects, including Zen, Chan, and Pure Land, and, by its extension into Tibet, the source of Tibetan Buddhism. In addition, hundreds of animist, folk, and syncretic religious practices developed in China, including the movement that spawned the Taiping Rebellion of the mid-19th century. Thus, the rapid development of modern manufacturing industries and of communications in China produced a dramatic change in the urban landscape. Many new towns and cities have been built around manufacturing and mining centers. In the remoter areas of China, the first appearance of railways and highways contributed to the rapid growth of some entirely new towns, such as Shihazi in northern Xinjiang and Sichuan in western Tibet. Among larger cities, Urumqi, capital of Xinjiang, Lanzhou, capital of Gansu, and Baotou in Inner Mongolia, are examples where expansion has been extremely rapid. Lanzhou lies midway between southeastern and northwestern China. Formerly a bleak frontier town of traders, artisans, and immigrant farmers, has become one of the country's largest steel centers. From the 15th century onward, the population increased steadily, growth being interrupted by wars and natural disasters in the mid-17th century and slowed by the internal strife and foreign invasions in the century that preceded the communist takeover in 1949. During the 18th century, China enjoyed a lengthy period of peace and prosperity, characterized by continual territorial expansion and an accelerating population increase. In 1762, China had a population of more than 200 million, and by 1834 that population had doubled. It should be noted that during that period the amount of cultivable land did not increase concomitantly, and land hunger became a growing problem from that time on. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.